Alrighty, welcome back. I'm your man Bad Chad, and Queen Jolene's on the camera. Rod is bringing us to another fantastic spot. This is Kenny. He owns this joint, and I'd like to have him as a friend. I like the stuff that I see, and we're just going to take it around. Kenny's going to talk about it a little bit. And what got you started in this, in this hobby?
As a little kid,
yeah,
paddock bombs and living in the country, and
right.
Couldn't wait to get off the push bike and onto motorbikes and in a car. So
okay,
we started early.
Yeah.
And never grew up basically. So
well, it's like a friend of ours said. He's over 50, I think. Lindsay Ferris said to me, or they said on Facebook one time, his wife told him to grow up, and he said, "What do you mean grow up?" He said, "I don't know how to act. This is the first time I've been this age, right? How do you know to act? You know, your age when you've never been that age before." Let's talk about this thing here for a second, if you don't mind.
Yeah, this is the oldest rig in our collection here. So
yeah.
It's a 1917 Hudson Super Six. It's a tribute car to 4 Hudson race cars that were built by the motor company in 1917.
Right.
One of them survives that legacy. It's in the Transport Museum in Seoul in South Korea. The other 3 there's no real data on what might have happened, but more than likely crashed and trashed.
Right.
Like all race cars, their true value is not really apparent until years later, you know. But
so did you restore this?
A friend of mine in Sassafras in Victoria,
okay,
Quentin, he put about 4 or 5 years into the build back in the late 70s, early 80s, and it drove out of the shed under its own steam in about 83, and it actually did some exhibition racing at the IndyCar in 1985 on the Gold Coast. So it sort of was been out and about, mainly in Victoria for a few years, and it came up here.
It's absolutely amazing.
3 or 4 years, maybe 5.
I love it.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. Well, if you're keen, Chad, I'm keen to take you for a lap in it. So I've got a nice leather helmet there for you.
All right. They call me Leatherhead. So this body, was this body on the car?
That's hand built from scratch. I've actually got a bit of a historical build booklet there. You can flick through and you can see it being built. But like Hudson in the day, they had to shorten the chassis by 20 inches to meet the Indianapolis ruling of wheelbase at the time. So Hudson just grabbed a stock standard current day chassis car, pulled the body off it, and then their in-house little race team, they set up hand-built bodies. I've got photos of those original 4 around the place. I'll point out to you. But Quentin's sort of taken a lot from those photos and different historical, documentation on those cars, and then built a tribute to them. There's a few of them, not anything really that I know of in Australia, but in Europe, there's a few of these. They race at Goodwood and things like that.
Right. This thing just blew. Yeah. Like I said, we acquired a 1917 Studebaker, and this is sort of where we're going with.
Oh, cool! You can get some.
Yeah, like this is
take some input from this. It's been a.
Oh yeah, I'm going to watch this video over and over and over and over again.
There's here's a bit of how it's been put together. Yeah, that's about 120 litres of fuel there.
So is the body of your car aluminum, or is it steel?
This one's all steel.
This one's all steel. Fantastic. Absolutely gorgeous.
Still running the 1917 Super Six.
Right.
Flathead.
Yes.
All that Hudson did in the time was put 2 carbies on it instead of 1.
Right.
And built the body and went racing. In 1919, they came 8th in that year in the championship. So pretty good effort for an OEM just entering that race scene against people that had been doing it for 20, 30, 40 years longer than them, Yeah,
I just love the brass work. It just looks so good. Like, it just looks so good. Like the brass against the aluminum, I'm taking it.
Here, I may as well.
Wow, steering wheel.
May as well show the real
The real prize of the situation?
Real prize of it, yeah.
These look like the headlights we have on our truck, do they not? These are considered the shocks, are they not?
They are. Friction shocks.
Yeah. You can still buy an aftermarket shock from Speedway. I'm not sure.
It's a modern version of that.
Yeah.
It's very rudimentary style of shock absorber back in the day.
Now, I want to ask you something before you open this hood up.
Yeah.
Does this belt, having no springs on it, hold that hood down nice and tight?
Never moved an inch.
Okay, good. Because we're going to do the same sort of deal thing.
You're right, a lot of people would have springs on there. I might actually lift the other side.
Nice and clean.
It's a little, gives you a bit more view.
Yeah.
There's a story to the heads on this.
Your hood is aluminum.
Oh, you picked me out. That is the one piece of aluminium on here, you're right. Here, I'll take this side off completely.
The headers are cool. Just everything about this thing's sick. I love this. You got good taste. Very good taste.
We're only just looking after them for somebody next in line, aren't we?
You were.
They're going to outlive.
You got the deal. You know what's going on.
So there'd be normally cast iron head, cast iron barrel, and cast aluminium crankcase.
So this has been changed?
Yeah, there's a Quentin who did the build on this, knew some really talented people and surrounded himself with people in that sort of game. And the cast iron head, they were having not issues, but they thought they could do better than in 1917. So the cooling has been increased tremendously. This cooling feed pipeline only had 3 drops on the standard one.
Okay.
This head's actually like a 6-piece 3-headed operation. So they changed the position of the spark plug slightly.
That's cool.
The combustion chamber slightly, but the cooling by far was the biggest upgrade. And this just runs on a hot day like today. It's 32 units. What's that, about 85, 90 degrees? So
you've got an adapter for your carburetor setup going on there? Is that
this would have normally just had one carby in the centre here. And that was part of the system that Hudson run in the day. Their era correct carbies, they would have been what came out on a 1917 Hudson. So we have to be careful when we start this. You can get cold, I call them cold leaks, when you're tempted to, when you own something like this, to start it to show somebody for 5 minutes and you don't really let it go through a heat cycle.
Yes.
For an engine like this, it's not really that good for any engine to do that over and over and over again, but for something this old, everything expands and contracts at different rates, so it's good that if you start it to do a full heat cycle, like go for a drive, it might only be 3 or 4 Ks. But let everything get up to temperature, and then all those gasket placements, all those seals go through a full heat cycle, and then it cools all down together again.
Do you have anybody that has a car like this around here, or are you?
There are a couple.
Okay, there are a couple.
Different varieties in this era, even older. 1912, and there's a lot of coffee shop meetings, or annually, there'd be a number of events we can go to, like the Distinguished Gentleman's Drive, and then there's a Distinguished Gentleman's
Are you a distinguished gentleman?
I'm a naughty one of those.
Just looking at some mounts for your headlights and stuff. That is so cool.
Oh, right. We like to repurpose things. I think it's really cool when you can you picked it?
Yeah.
It's a jack. Well done.
Oh, well, thank you.
Without even a hint.
Well, I mean, it was kind of something that,
I've
got one in the back room there. I was debating whether to take it outside and put it in my junk pile, but sometimes you need those things, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the big 4-wheel drive. Well, they'd have a name. What are they? A high lift jack.
Yeah. What do we?
High lift. I think we might.
They can hurt you if you're not paying attention. Yeah, they can hurt you. Yeah, it's so cool, man. You got one side. I like the header, the horn, I like just like it all. What size of wheel would this be running?
Oh, they run in 25 or 6.
That there is amazing. That's nice.
Isn't that a special really gear?
That is Hudson Super Six.
Chad, where is?
Don't know what size of wheel they are.
Right, sitting on the bottom of that one. 21.
21s. Yeah, and people think nowadays they got big wheels. Why they had big wheels way back then?
Oh yeah. Oh, they started wagon wheels up to your shoulders.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically, everything's everything's evolved from the width of 2 horses' butts, remember?
Yes.
That's how come our wheelbase is what it is.
So, is this a traction bar they would have come up with
Yeah,
at the
that looks a
time?
bit modern Tirana-ish, doesn't it? But yeah, there was some axle tramp issues there, and
Okay.
that just sort of holds that axle a bit stiller.
Yeah.
And I will let on, the newest part of this whole vehicle is actually a Ford 9-inch diff in it. They had some problems back in the 80s with the original 100-year-old Hudson diff. It's incredibly heavy.
Yeah.
And although it fit for purpose back then, we could do better, I guess. But still have the parts needed to put it back for the purists.
Yeah.
But it has got a 9-inch disguised in there. But then all from the axles out is all back to Hudson. So there was a lot of engineering went in to get those wheels and hubs and all back together, like
Just like the engine putting the aluminum heads on.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Crazy.
The other thing was in 1917 there was no front brakes. So all the cars back then just ran rear brakes. So she was pretty sketchy when you really used it out on the road.
So when you bought this car,
Is
what did you have to
like what you're looking at now.
Okay.
Quentin had done the whole deal.
Okay, so like
He's in his
the horn,
70s
the horn
now.
came with it and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
The artwork is a friend of mine, Damo Gibbs. He's a legend, and he does a lot of our pinstriping and custom work and a lot of bike work he does. He's 3rd generation signwriter from trucks and doing the door signage and scroll and pinstriping on heavy equipment.
That's amazing. Can we just take a walk and look at your truck and stuff now?
Yeah,
You don't mind? I don't want to get away from it, but believe me,
there's a bunch to look at.
we just want to show everybody that's watching sort of what's going on here.
You want the story on this one?
You know what? I just want to look at it for a second, to be honest with you. That's badass. I like that. I like the bigs and littles. I like the Firestone tires on it. I like I like your you know, the ace, the club, the heart, the spade. That's badass. So I'm thinking that this is the original patina.
It is.
It is. Give me the story, man.
1955.
Yeah.
Bought brand new by Bakersfield County, and it was a red truck. See this red deep down in here?
Yeah.
That's its OG colour right there. Bakersfield County, I guess, as they did in the day, they got it back to their workshop and pretty crudely blew this orange you see coming through here over it to match, you know, what all their infrastructure was. The Orange County trucks driving around everywhere.
Yeah.
You can see the battle scars from some clearance lights on here, and they only kept it for 12 months or so, because in 1956 the Harleys still are an incredibly well-known name in Bakersfield for
You're talking
drag racing.
California?
California.
Yeah.
Bakersfield, California. They grabbed it as their shop truck back in 56, 57, very early days, and obviously weren't keen on leaving the Orange County truck there, so they blew this burgundy over it way back then as well. Yeah. And it was a 6-cylinder back then, 3-speed on a tree. It was the most basic version of the truck in the day.
Yeah.
So it had the star on the front. The inline 6 had the star. The V8s had the V8 symbol.
Yeah.
And they had that as it's been to Bonneville, Morac, El Mirage, Butcher's Board on the front, pushing their hot rods out on assault for decades and decades. So a really close mate of mine now, Dave Halley, he was just a kid when all this was happening.
Yeah.
6 or 7 years old. He's in his 70s now, and we stay in touch weekly.
Okay.
Just with photos and, you know, keep his family up to date with what we do with this truck. But I think I got this off him about 2012, so 10 years ago now.
So is this?
That's his family sort of shield.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stickers inside from back in the day.
Is that car brown originally? That car right there? Is that car brown?
That's going to be a question for Dave, actually, but it's a great question. I'm keen to know.
Is it a real car, that car?
Yeah.
Okay. I just love everything about it. That's so cool, man.
Lots of history to Bakersfield in there.
Oh, look at all the stickers above the head, the visors there.
Even the surface stickers, you know what California's like. So
yeah, you know what? It's always nice to get a sticker.
yeah.
And then stick it somewhere.
Well, there's a bit of that kiddiness. Remember going into the service station and getting some STP stickers or something like that.
Oh, that's so cool, man.
Hey Chad, there's a little handle in here.
Yeah.
Looks like a little handbrake. Give it a yank.
Right there?
Yeah, in the floor. No, down the bottom.
This
Yeah,
one?
right there.
To yank that
Yeah,
up?
yank it. That was a little yank.
Yeah, I know.
Here.
Look at that now, would you? Train horn. Scare the piss out of everybody. Imagine that would scare the piss out of people. Just love
But that
that.
doesn't.
You even got bare metal. You even got bare metal showing there, eh? Like it's.
Yeah, she gets
You
used.
got it looking real good.
This is daily for me, so I'm in this often.
You're on this quite often, are you?
Yeah. It got a birthday before it came to me. The Harleys put a big block in it and a turbo 400 Curry 9-inch air conditioning. It's got a Mustang 2 front end with power steer. So
you've done some work.
No, this all happened by the Harleys.
Okay.
I've just
the flip front end is it always flip front end these?
No.
No. Okay.
There's a couple of advantages with that for racing and spanner yanking. Basically,
Okay. Your hinge would have been here.
It's much safer to be racing with a flip hood because it's not going to do the over the roof on you. But also it gives you as a mechanic much easier access to things like spark plugs.
That's quite a tank that someone's made for aluminum red.
It runs nice and cool too.
It really means a lot down here to run cool because the weather is it's quite something else.
Certainly up this end of Australia too, we have quite extreme weather conditions. Not as extreme as Northern Hemisphere, but
So this comes down and then runs along this thing here and goes in there. Okay.
Yeah.
I've never seen it before. Could you buy this system?
Just a kit.
You can buy that kit.
Yeah, I don't know if Speedway or Jags or something like that might do it, but it's certainly available as a kit for your model truck and so on. And there are other versions of it. I'm sort of partial to this one. I've used this one for a decade and it works flawlessly.
Show me how it works here. It's just got a rubber there. It just comes down on top of that.
Yeah, that roller just interlocks and you'll see it track here.
Yeah. See, comes over here. Watch this. It goes
I'll
down.
just push it back slowly.
Yeah. Just like that.
Oh, there's a little addition here. See this sun visor?
Yeah.
So if you've got a 56, 55, all those early 50 F trucks, really hard to get a factory
visor,
especially an era correct OG one. They're really rare as rocking horse poop. So I looked
rare is what?
Rocking horse poop.
Rocking horse poop. Never heard tell, but I'll take it. I like to hear what people say sometimes, just so I might want to take one home with me.
By all means.
Yeah.
So that's that one we actually stole off an 70s Holden, like a HQ, HJ, HX era Holden. So there's a little bit of GM on this. Well, there's a lot actually. If you saw the engine that's sitting there. But, she's not a pure Ford, that's for sure. But it gets the job done.
You're talking to the right guy. I use whatever I have and I do what I got to do. I like the mirrors on it. Look, I've never seen the mirror like that. Just tightens up. And would that be a factory
pretty
mirror?
Era correct for that 50s era.
Okay. I've never ever seen one like that. It's nice.
Probably just on the trucks in that era.
Okay. Beautiful. I seen this one race at Carburetion. Did I say that right? Carburetion?
You did. You had trouble at first.
Oh my goodness gracious. Like I have trouble with a lot of things. This is quite something else too, eh?
41 Willys coupe is pretty special and I don't take it lightly that it's actually here. All steel with race history out of Texas, a top Australian car builder, Rob Monia, had built a glass car, a 41 Willys glass car, and went through that build process among lots of other things he's done.
Yeah.
He sold that and realised that he had a greater passion to own or build and own a steel body 41 Willys.
Yeah.
So the hunt went down and he came across this. I don't know details of the story, but he got it, I think it was around 2010, 2011, that sort of era.
When I first saw this thing, I said, that's got to be a fiberglass car. It's
True,
not, it's not, eh?
No,
Wow.
it's all,
it's the real deal.
it's steel right the way through. There's a little bit of telltale sign of its early racing history right here on the hood.
Okay.
That's the remnants of the original cutout back in the day of whatever they were, whether it was a couple of carbs on tunnel rams or whether it was blown. Unfortunately, we could never piece together the good story, the provenance on how it came to be. We do know from when Rob came in touch with it though, basically the rod had got to the bottom 6 inches of it, so floor's gone, halfway, that bottom part of the doors. So he set to work for a few years, lovingly putting it back together to what you see, and it came to a point where it could have been a shiny, pretty car, or it could have been a more
what you see now,
warts and all gasser. So the paint, although it's got that patina look, that's been done by a very cool painter by the name of Ryan Ford. I don't know if that Ford name means anything to you in Victoria, but Eddie Ford and all his lads played a big role, or continue to play a big role in Australian hot rodding as it is today, and Ryan put down the paint on this.
So you have cool stuff, and then you have cool stuff shows up?
Yeah, that's a cool mate of mine, Reedy. He owns the local powder coating business here, so we run some stuff through him, and he built that a couple of years ago. That's his daily.
I just want to keep looking at this. So this is a
small block 327.
Okay, I was just looking for this. Yep, small block.
About to be hemied. So we've got a 392. Actually, you saw the 392 for this at Craig Lockhart's East Coast Race Cars.
Okay. And you're gonna throw Hemi in this car?
Yeah.
Yeah, he says.
So he's good and bad in saying that, but it's very drivable. It's very raceable, like on a fun level.
So when you restored this car, you guys did the aluminum work in here and stuff?
Yeah, that's all Rob Monier and his crew.
Right on.
So there's a steel floor under there.
Yeah, okay.
Then there's sandwiched with, your matting.
Yep.
And then they build an aluminium facade over the top of that. So there's a bit of heat shielding, there's a bit of reducing the amount of noise inside, although it's still like you're driving a sardine can all the same.
Yes.
In a fun sort of way, not in a bad way.
No, what, Mustang seats?
Mustang seats, yeah.
This is badass. This is badass.
The dash is sort of, the modern stuff of the dash is sort of can be flicked away there. So it doesn't look like anything's being touched, but you got some modern gauges.
Oh, listen, this thing's sick. I thought it was glass.
See, yeah.
I did. I really did, because you wouldn't think to see a car like that all steel, but you've nailed it. That's for sure. You've nailed it.
Well, I can't take the credit. There's a lot of really talented people that.
Oh well, I mean, hey. Oh, you know what you can do? You know what you can do? You can tell them it's your car. It's my car, right? I'm not asking for any to discredit anybody. Just kind of you've got a beautiful car here.
Beautiful,
and it's your vision, is it not?
Well, funny story. I looked at this car for a number of years while Rob had it, and I thought, wow, so far out of this guy will never let this go. And for whatever reason, Rob, thank you, buddy. He had a brain fart and decided he'd let it go, and I jumped on it like a seagull on a chip, pretty hard, and it came here a couple of weeks later, and I still was in shock, really. But again, it's just we're looking after these things, and I like to be able to use them. So this has been to a lot of events. Not much of this is garage queen stuff. Everything you see, we'll run and drive or ride, and we use them. We heat cycle them. These things hate being sit still in sheds for any more than about 8 weeks. They crack. You checking out my brass?
Yes. Is that like just to have hanging around, or
we
what?
just come back from a hunting trip or shooting trip, and we just chuck it out here, and the keen eye people find it. And you're one of them. There's thousands around out here, but it's all from out west on big properties,
Awesome.
helping them out with some vermin. And we come back with bags. We collect all our brass, and then this is our brass garden.
Awesome.
There's something cool here, actually, on the fuel injection. So this is an old Crower mechanical fuel injection, like a Hillborn setup.
Yeah.
Pretty much identical, but made by Crower. And sneakily, Rob and his lads grafted an EFI on here, so it runs a Heltz computer.
Okay.
With modern day fuel injection. So
That
we can
helps.
have that look of an old school mechanical fuel injection, which would be extremely difficult to have on a street driven car.
Right.
They sort of like to be either stopping or going.
So this is how you check your
the highest point in the cooling system. It pays to have a.
I've never seen that before.
Well, some people have them in many crazy spots, even in line in a hose.
Yeah.
If you can pick the highest point in the cooling system, it helps for air and running cool.
Fantastic. That is so cool. All right, let's go to the next one, if we will. Let's go to the next one. Look at this vise here. I need a vise like that.
Toowoomba swap meet.
Toowoomba swap meet.
We had to split it in two just to carry it back to the car.
That's crazy.
I didn't know if I'd use it that much when I picked it up, but it gets used all the time out here.
Yeah.
Amazing. And you know what you like with the grinder, so we do a lot of, rather than making a mess in there, come out here and you're not worried about what you're setting on fire or anything.
We're soon going to be able to get outside, and it's going to be something nice. We get snow at home right now, probably like that deep, but we're soon going to get outside. And
Start working outside.
I can't wait. I got the hoist outside, so I can't use the hoist until winter's over.
Oh, wow.
And so it's kind of you got us beat that way. And is this your bus?
Yeah.
How do you go such eclectic? You got such a
It's happened over many years.
Well, I mean, you got a 17 over here. I like your taste. They get a 50. Was it 55 or?
55 truck.
55 truck.
41.
41. And
59.
You get a
58.
And you get a 58 Volkswagen.
Let's start at the back on this one, because the story sort of starts at the back, right there.
Mad Mole.
So back in the 60s, so this is a 58 bus, Boronia Brown, Australia only colour, 1 year only colour.
Oh, okay.
So the rest of the world, the Volkswagen land people really get excited with Boronia Brown, because no one really got it from the factory. Mad Mole. Mad Mole is an Australian Victorian rock band back in the late 60s and early 70s.
Okay.
Ross Davies and the crew, and that was the name of their band. So they used to rock on all up and down, Furniture Gully Road, east of Melbourne.
All the Australian roads, yeah.
A lot of the party scene. Their drummer at the time was a man by the name of Phil Rudd, who went on from Mad Mole to become the drummer of AC/DC.
Oh, you okay?
Angus and Malcolm Young, either nicely or begrudgingly stole him out of Mad Mole and took him to AC/DC, and the rest is history there. So this was Ross Davies' van. Sue and Ross Davies used to get a lot of the kit for the band around to the different venues. They had another vehicle, an old hearse.
Does he know this van still exists?
He's been told, not by me, but he knows of its existence, and it's spent a long time, a few decades, stored out of sight in a barn in Corraway in Victoria.
Okay.
Actually, it was covered in house paint. So you see all this white sort of remnants on here.
Yeah.
So it was pretty much disguised in house paint for a while there, oven cleaner, got rid of that and exposed what was underneath. And
you worked hard to get that then?
Yeah, well, people did, yeah. This has been in my sort of fold here, 2013, 2014, somewhere around now, I think it would be.
So, what was I going to say now? You've got the seats and all stuff.
It's a registered 9-seater. Yeah. Mechanically, driveline wise, it's all fresh. I've gone right through it. So we've built a 2180, running a couple of Webers in there, a freeway flyer, 4-wheel disc brakes, all the electrics done, all the fuel systems done. It's got a Bug-Tech shifter from
I love the steering
Northern
wheel,
Hemisphere.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about Volkswagens as a whole, but certainly Splitties and
yeah,
you know, that whole combi bug type setup, is that they're loved, or there's a big following in every corner of the globe basically, whereas a lot of cars might just have their niche. Like a lot of Australian muscle cars, us Australians love it, but the rest of the world don't really get it.
Yeah.
Whereas you sort of get onto one of these,
everybody in the
they can go anywhere. You can take this anywhere in the world and it's going to
find love.
Well, take its value with it as well, and its collectability and its investment. Well, I don't just, you know, I don't focus on doing it for the investment side, but I love them every single day and use them and drive them. But if you can invest in something but also have fun with it, then you must be doing something okay.
Right. Well, I always say there's worse things to do in life. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's a lot worse things to do.
Like buy shares.
Yeah. Stock market and lose your shirt. I just like how you've taken each ride and made it. You didn't overdo anything. You just got it. You got it looking real good.
It's important to
mechanically.
Us, like we all get it. The crew that we hang around with. It's important for that provenance, that story, and keeping those spiderwebs. Even the people involved, though, it's really important. That's why I like to keep people involved that I might be custodian of something, but keep the original people either up to date with photos, or just say hi to them and say, hey, I was out on your bike, or I was out in your rig.
Well done.
We're not billet aluminium type people.
This thing here now for a little bit.
As long as it's safe. And
you want to talk to me about this little thing here a little bit?
This rig?
Yeah.
I can get Reedy.
You go with me. We're talking here.
That's all I really know. Reedy? Is Reedy there? Come on, bud.
That's cool as shit, eh? Well done.
Reedy will know it intimately because he's built it from the ground up.
Okay.
Oh, has he gone missing? We might have to come back to that one. It's a late model chassis. Oh, when I say that, it's not the era of the cab.
He's done a good job on it. Fantastic. Looks good. I like the.
There's not much he doesn't do himself, so I mean, he knows when he can't. But here he comes. Chris Reed, or
how you doing?
Affectionately known as Reedy. This is.
You want to go over this bad boy for a little minute? So, what year is the cab? 41. Yes.
I put it down as a 41.
Yes.
I brought the cab just off a bloke up in Caloundra.
Yeah.
And it was all just smashed in the front, and all the guards are wrecked, and that probably paid too much money for it, but it doesn't matter. It was what I wanted, and I've been chasing for about 15, 18 years, and I've given up, and my wife found it on Facebook.
Right on.
She said, this is what you want, let's go and have a look at it. So we did it. We just wanted it old school. I painted it myself. I do everything myself on it. My son, he's marine fabrication.
Okay.
He does the tray and that for me. And all me panel beating, so you call it, and stuff like that, and I do it myself, and I've learned a fair bit off you over the years. I've been tracking you for the last 3 to 4 years.
We call the panel beaters the ones who are wrecking the panels. You guys call the panel beaters the guys that fixes them, right?
Yeah.
What do you call the ones fixing them?
A body man, like a
body man.
A body man. Right, a body man.
Right.
If I said I was a body man, my missus would say, you're joking, aren't you?
I never thought.
Yeah, I'm over it. It's the I love the everything in there the way it is.
Yes.
But I mid-mounted the motor. So just a little 302, and it's sitting on a Rodeo chassis, holding Rodeo chassis, because it's torsion bar, so I can wind it up and down.
Lower it, you mean?
Lower it to the height that I want.
Well done. That's a great idea, you know. That's a great idea.
Well,
instead of taking the cab and trying to flip it up.
And to work on it, it's these 8 bolts,
Yeah.
the fuel line and the plug for the wiring. You just unpull it, and then I can lift off the forklift. The old chain links in the back that I can put my slings through there and lift it up. And
exhaust pipe?
No, it's
just
no chromoly.
Okay.
So my son went a bit, because his mandrel benders don't like the lighter stuff.
Okay.
So that's what we did with that.
It probably crush it, will it? Like when you bend it, it crushes it?
Little crinkles underneath it. These are guards off me. My wife's got a 40 Oldsmobile Sloper. There was 29 of them made in Australia, in Adelaide. And I cut the buckets out of them, and I put another 110 mil in them. And then we just welded a bit of 3/8 rod in the back of it. There again, I got that bit of an idea off you over the years. So I'm a bit of a fan. So,
awesome. I'm a fan of yours after looking at this.
So if you want a tailgate or anything like that, me mate, you probably met him, Aiden. He did this bit of sign writing for me. So we'll just put Reedy's rod shop on. I've built 4 cars so far.
Nice little hitch on it, so you can tow something.
Yeah, so I can tow a trailer or something like that if I want to get a vintage trailer or something. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of cab overs, and I really like this one. How you got the bed longer and a little bit narrower. It's not up so high. You got to look.
Everyone said put the mufflers up the back. I got all hidden at the back. I don't.
You got it looking good.
I don't want it showing out too much. It's just the stance I wanted and stuff like that. I'm very happy with it. It's only been on the road 6 months now. And it's been
maybe a little longer.
Problem. I had to rebuild the motor because it was an old second-hand motor I had sitting in the rack.
Right, I do a lot of that shit.
So, and they're just 22-inch Alcoas, but we got them machined in Melbourne, and they're all dummy nuts. So they're on a 6-stud. So all 6-stud underneath the hubcaps. So yeah, so there's no adapter plates. A few boys over here in Oz, they get the adapter plates from America and do them and put the big nuts on. I didn't want to do that, so I went the other way. So it worked out good. So
that's all that matters.
Pretty happy with it. So,
yeah. That thing's badass. Badass.
Got a set of Volkswagen clearance lights on.
Australia right now is showing the people around the world how to build a car or a truck. You know what I mean? Really, like it's really cool. Like you guys are. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
The last 2 weeks you've seen a lot of different people,
I have.
Places, a lot of vehicles.
And I'm impressed with every one of them. Especially when you're doing that yourself, right? How long did it take you to do it?
11 months. Yeah.
So it's a wonder you haven't got somebody else want you to build them one.
The only thing I got something to do was the roof lining.
Okay.
I don't do that. So.
Me neither.
No.
Me neither. Get a nice little wind coming in. You got the window opens up nice.
The beauty of this thing, I love this. Everyone says, "Hey, you fill the radiators, fill them like that."
Just like that.
Get into it. Just a custom Land Cruiser.
Yeah.
Radiator, 4-core in it and stuff like that. So power rack in it. That's all. That is standard Alpha 89 Rodeo, Holden Rodeo.
So these lines that I see I got a couple lines on the Jaguar rack and pinion. These lines, do you get them made up?
Yes.
You can get those made?
Yep, they're all made through a hydraulic place here.
Okay.
I can't honestly remember the pressure, but they're all hydraulic. They're bigger than what this is, you know. About 3,500, 4,000 pounds or something they are. So,
and you did the paint?
Yeah.
So you
I sandblasted it fully.
Yeah.
Then I found an old rusty brown because I was going to do that. I did the brown on it first.
So you did the brown first?
Then the yellow.
Then yellow.
Yeah, and then rubbed through that and took photos of it where it was. Then I put the red over the top of it, but I was only going to have the red just on the bottom part of it, but it looked like it wasn't finished.
Yeah.
So I went and got another 3 litres and did it again, and then we just put a clear mat over the top of it. So, yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Absolutely
I'll
awesome.
get you both to sign if you don't mind when you're inside on the...
Be fantastic. That's good. Awesome. What do you think, Jolene? Like to have one? Like to have one? So you guys are buddies full time? Like just hang out quite a bit?
Hang out.
Okay.
Hang out. He's
I've got a penny for you, Chad.
A penny?
He don't want to miss out.
I want you to sign it just on that hump, thanks.
No worries. You sure?
Yes, I'm dead set.
Dead set.
Yeah, help.
That's awesome.
Full of everything.
I'm honored. Honored. Thank you. Honored. Awesome. I get a drink of that. Yeah, give me a drink of your water. No, that's fine. Are you gonna give me one of those, would you? All right, we'll share one. Thanks, Rod. Appreciate it.
It's hot out here.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's something different.
Oh man, that's cool as shit. Thank you, sir. Yeah, it's cool. So what? I've seen one of these on the other guy here. Does it give the finger this one or
nah?
No.
I all reckon it should. So this one.
I reckon it should. Okay.
That was off. My wife got that for me.
Yeah.
And Kenny had one, and we're going to copy it. And he says, yeah, you can borrow this one, we'll copy and make a new one. And then my wife found this at a Dubbo out western New South Wales, and it was off an old school bus. And that's exactly how it come with the tape and everything.
Okay.
Like that, so yeah.
So that come off a school bus, those things.
But they were, back in the old days, they had no blinkers over here. So everything was just, you could turn left legally, but you couldn't turn right. You had to have the hand and the stop there and stop.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I seen one buddy had the finger on his.
Yeah, they said cut it off and put a finger on it. I said, nah, I can't do that. It'll spoil it.
It'll spoil it. So we're just coming into Kenny's shop here. So this is what you come out to every day to look, you know, you come out of your house, you come in here and look like this? Is that what it looks like, just like this?
We sort of have a few layers to, we actually operate a business out of the building to our right and the building to our left.
Okay.
We fix electronics and nearly solely within the petroleum industry. So petrol pump, petrol dispenser, electronics, where you fill your car or bike up with. More than likely our company has played a role in that electronics being refurbished along its life's journey. So anything from the 80s right up to current day electronics, we fix about, you know, between 500 and 700 faulty electronic modules, displays, power supplies, processor boards every month. So you're true blue gas memorabilia. Like you are the guy that fixes. I've been in the industry since 1986, and there's 10 people employed here. This, what you're looking at here, this is sort of just my mental relief of the inputs I like, you know, bikes and cars and hot rods. We're just starting to like bikes, people. And this thing so I'm badass. Lucky enough, I guess, to have my toy shops surrounding my business properties, right? And they can interact and overlap. And you know, there's gear here that we might use from our business. We've got some tooling and some equipment and some welding and lathes and mills and stuff that you'll see as you walk through. But one of my later model bikes, it's a 97 Springer Heritage Softail. Harley did a re-release of the Springers in 97 for a few years. That 97 was the first year. Is this a factory paint scheme on that? So there's a little story to how that's actually a 98 paint scheme on a 97. Okay. The 97 was white with either the red, that red accent or a blue accent. So a lot of people are going, that's not a 97, that's a 98. But the person that got that owned a Harley dealership, and he happened to be in Milwaukee at the time when they were releasing the 98 models, and got a hold of the 98 tins and bought them back for his 97 Harley. So he was the first person out of Morgan and Wackers that had a 97 with 98 tin colours on it. So beautiful. And I got that a few years ago. Do you like cleaning? You know, I'd much rather getting them dirty than making them clean. And you're going to meet Brad here. I think you met him down at Coralbin too. But he works here 3 days a week. Right. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And he's my right-hand man as far as the mechanical work we do here. We service basically everything. Unless it gets more involved, we've got some really cool people around us for both motorbikes and cars. Good on you, Big Ollie. Yeah. Briar Hill Motors helps us out. I'm just walking through if you don't mind. I get staring at something. Wow, like that's beautiful. Like, that's beautiful. That's got an amazing story. They all got a story for you, do they not? So many of these things do. Not all is involved, but this one definitely has been a club, like a 1% type club background from day one. It's a 1953 Panhead that has been a chopper since its very early days, and I'm the third custodian of that, but up until 2009.
When you say 1%er, that means like a
Rebels or Hell's Angels,
right.
or yeah, like that. So that's been its whole life, except when it came to me. Still unlikely that it would end up in a place like this, but it happened, and then I didn't know at the time when I purchased it exactly how involved the history of it was.
Right.
But once I found out, I reached out to a guy by the name of Dougie Pooh, or Doug Friswell. He was one of the very early members of the club back in the San Bernardino sort of area of California.
Yeah.
Purdue area, and I let him know through Instagram. He had quite a high profile on Instagram. He passed away a couple of years, and he's sorely missed by many people. But he's a legend of the Harley world and that early days of the club life, so to speak. And I sent him a little message, said, "Hey Doug, you don't know me, but I've got your bike down here in Australia, just so you know where it is." And the first sentence he ever wrote back to me was, "I want my bike back."
I want my bike.
We got on like a house on fire.
How did you feel when he said that? You know,
maybe he's fair dinkum. But a couple of sentences later, we got on the same page, and I stayed in touch with him for a number of years there, and I still stay in touch with his son Robbie. Send Robbie the odd message and saying g'day from down here in Australia, and send a photo of the bike.
I always wondered. I see you got this pipe here is squished a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty factory.
Yeah, that's factory.
That was how they get them through between the crankcase and the frame. Yeah.
I did that to a pipe on the car that we built, and I was kind of wondering if it took away from anything, but I guess it would not. It would still have the same flow, would it not? Like being thin than being round.
There'd be a point where it started to become detrimental, but we're not talking F1 type performance here, so I guess you get away with a little bit of that sort of engineering philosophy. Certainly didn't really bother the Harleys too much, but that's a great rider. That's a bike you can easily jump on any time and ride. It goes for all of these ones in front of you here.
Is this a piece of leather?
Yeah, mate of mine.
Okay.
Mate of mine gets into the leather, and he did the work on that.
That's cool. Can we go in
Couple
here?
of Panheads.
Go in here and take a look at these here, if you don't mind.
Hey Brad, Dong's looking after this, is he? Cool. 71 shovel head. So you know that 55F truck I was just showing you out there?
Yes.
The Harley truck?
Yeah.
So this came out of the same garage years later though. I've only had this in the last few years. I didn't even know Dave Harley had shovel head sitting in the garage, but he said it was time to move on. He wasn't getting out on it. And I said I'd be very pleased to park it up next to your truck once again.
It's pretty cool.
And that's another cool rider that I ride a lot. Beside it is a 1954 Panhead. That's what Harley deemed their 50-year anniversary year, 1954. So that's a 50-year anniversary Panhead.
I love it.
It's in. It displays quite well. It's a pretty bike, that one. A little bit cleaner than most of my other ones, but a lovely example of a 54 Panhead.
Another Panhead. I'm taking this Panhead.
Yeah, that's a few years later. That's a 63. So now all of a sudden you've got a rear swing arm and rear suspension, whereas behind it's hardtail.
Okay. See, I don't know. Like, I mean, I know it's a Harley Davidson. But I don't know.
It's pretty normal looking 53, little tweaks here and there, but I like things to, especially when they get that old, to look, how they were sort of factory.
I like the paint. I like black and white. I like black. I like the purple one. This one's
one of my favorites for sure. This is a 47 big twin flathead. It's an 80 cubic inch version, so it's the big Bertha of the Flathead range back in the day.
So would this be a military bike?
it was of the era.
Okay.
This one has no specific history to military. Well, 47, probably a little late anyway. Actually, this is, I'm telling a lot of stories, aren't I?
That's what we want to hear, man.
So this is, I found this under a bar in Alto Pass, Illinois, a number of years ago.
Is this a gentleman that owned it?
Yeah, Michael Blank's his name. He owned this. This is the Root Beer Saloon Bar, and it was in there for 19 years up under the bar, but he had it all together by the time I found it for about 40 years. And this is photos, but this is a cool photo, and I've got about 3 of them on file, the one on this sheet. That's back in about 1972 when it was built in Rock Island, a chopper shop in Rock Island, and built out of parts. There's that seat. That seat was commissioned way back then by somebody local, and we dragged it out, and it was in a, it looked pretty much how you see it here today, but it was mechanically needed some love, been sitting for so many years. And we did that big Ollie did a patina rebuild on the engine, and little Ollie Logan got involved on the bottom end of that. Another great Harley mate of mine.
Little piece of cardboard underneath each one.
They're pretty good, these Harleys, but they tend to leave their sign here and there, even if it's just a wee bit. But,
we listen. Every car we got, I think, it leaves its sign. You know. Oh, this is pretty nice. These are all your car. We went. You had that 64.
Oh yeah, that's on there. Right there. That's 64 go. You'll see that we've got a few. We've got a few sheds to visit yet.
Oh wow, this isn't it.
No way.
Oh.
We better hurry it along, eh?
We better hurry it along.
Yeah, that's us having fun. There's some mates' cars in there, and there's a bunch of us that hang out pretty tight.
What are we at right this second? 51? All right, everybody, I'm going to let you go there. What we're going to do is we're going to take a little break for a second and talk to everybody, see what's going on, and then we'll start up again when we get to the other sheds. Just a second, let's take a look at this. Or maybe we can start here and then cruise on through.
Yeah.